Hey fellow founders, welcome to another video in the Founder Daily Vlog series. In today's video, I want to peel back the curtain and show you how I'm going through the process of redesigning Oqire and really trying to improve the UI and UX for our users. So what I've got on the screen currently is the original version, the MVP if you like, of the design for Oqire. Now, when I was going through the Founder University program, I paid a designer on Upwork $250 and gave him a few days just to create this design as a starting point so that I could take this and build our MVP. And it certainly served that purpose and allowed us to kind of create the initial version of Oqire. I was able to get it to market, and meet that MVP type milestone. But, I was conscious that, this design is, in my opinion, and this isn't being disrespectful to the designer because they were given a short window of time and it was a small project, but the design's probably sitting at like a 6 out of 10. Now, if you go and use Oqire, it's probably really at a 5 or a 5.5 out of 10 because I took some elements out for the purposes of delivering the MVP. Now that we're at that stage and we've gotten some funding from Founder University, it's important to go back and really think more strategically about that experience for our user. And that's where I've been working with a new designer for the last few weeks and wanted to kind of share that journey. Now, it's very common for companies to share the after the fact. Where did we get to? How did we get from this to whatever the new version is? But I'm showing you the midway point. There's some work that's been done. There's still a lot of improvement to do. But I want to talk through some of this process and share this part of the journey with you. So straight away from the dashboard, you'll see that there's not a fundamental amount of change just yet. We're still thinking through some new ideas, but just at a bit more of a strategic level, thinking about the types of information that's going to be relevant for our users. You look at something like this little widget that shows the total number of demos completed. Previously, it was like relative to what, like what's this number actually mean? So something simple is just saying versus last month, which was 14. Now we have some more context. We have some more information that gives that number greater relevance. So it's a small change, but it's just a way I think of highlighting how I'm trying to think about this process a little bit more. I've also thought about how do we remove some of the kind of clinical feel of the platform. Maybe that's placing a little bit of a color as the background instead of it just being all white. Still really want things to breathe. Want there to be a lot of space. Don't want to crowd anything. But something like just adding a little bit of an offset in terms of the color can make it a little bit more visually attractive. Where I think we've made a lot more progress though is if I go, scroll up and go over here, is to the add or creating a new opportunity process. So again, thinking about this and thinking about the user journey, there's a fair bit of information that we need to capture. How do we do that in a strategic way or a thoughtful way so that the user isn't burdened? Something like creating steps so that users know where they are along the journey. The starting information, the company name, opportunity name, description, and then adding in some of that additional data that's going to add more flavor or value to understanding that opportunity. So the value, the product you're selling, the competitor, and then where we've also got opportunity status, which starts to get into some of the different ways we're thinking about, teams using Oqire, like the solution alignment, not from a sales perspective, but from a pre-sales perspective, and the confidence that a pre-sales person has as opposed to a salesperson, when they're helping sell or demonstrate this platform or solution that you and your team are selling. The other aspect of Oqire, kind of sticking with opportunities, is once you've created an opportunity, there's what we have a qualification and discovery process. So, when you're going through discovery, it's about asking the right questions so that your pre-sales team or your sales engineers know what's important to the customer so that when they plan and deliver a demo, they're speaking to that use case and they're making sure they basically articulate how your product helps solve that problem. There's nothing worse than like a very generic demo that just fails to miss the mark. Previously there's quite a lot of information that we need to convey here, right? Like there's a lot of different questions that you could ask. Budget confirm, what's the problem, who we're engaged with, etc. And thinking of, putting that into an accordion so it can collapse and expand is a lot more thought out and thoughtful than kind of what's currently in the application today. Where we still need a lot of work though is probably on this part. It looks very bland at the moment. It's not very visually engaging. How do we think about this so that the user gets relevant information, and we draw their attention to relevant information, but also make it a little bit more engaging. So that's still a work in progress. That's our login and register screens, fairly straightforward, so I won't dive into that too much just yet. And then we'll go over here to our battle cards. And this is a new piece of functionality that we're introducing where, when you're selling an enterprise solution or software, you want to be aware of your competition. And part of that is having battle cards. So with Oqire, you'll be able to create these battle cards. So how do we make sure people can access them? How do we have that same process for adding a new battle card? So the competitor name, the overview, what they sell, how we position against them. Again, following a similar format to the adding a new opportunity. And I can see it's kind of still a bit of a work in progress. Some of these fields haven't been updated. But making sure the user knows where they are in that journey of creating a battle card is obviously important. And I think, this is a great example, right, of showing you that work in progress. There's still add new opportunity there instead of add new battle card or continue on your journey of creating a battle card. And I wanted to show this because this is kind of like what it's like, right? This is the process, the back and forward. It's not, especially if you're working with freelancers, and it's not a direct employee, it's not like it's perfect on day one. And you probably would have seen a bunch of these comments that I've been making along the way so that we can continue to refine and iterate on the design that we are doing. So that's it for today's video. I wanted to share that behind the scenes look on the updated designs of Oqire. Comment down below what you think. Always keen to chat with other founders, especially if you've been using freelance designers for your startup's product. Comment down below and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.